Welcome to Full Scope, a podcast with two guys in their 20s, giving their perspective on the games that we love, the headlines on pop culture, and the meaning behind it all. I'm host Windsor Burns, along with my counterpart Savon Morris, and the chairman, the head of the Florida Gators fan club, Savon Morris. How's it going?
What's up, man? We're back. Well,
you guys are back.
I'm doing good, man. How's everything?
It's going good, man. And for this episode, as always, I have a lot of topics to get into today. And to start off with just, the recent game with the Bills and Rams and just their dominant road win and just how impressive Josh Allen's performance was, in Buffalo's 31-10 win. Josh Allen passed for 297 yards while accounting for 4 touchdowns. Von Miller had 2 of Buffalo's 7 sacks. And the Bills, they just clearly look like a Super Bowl contender. I mean, we've been talking about just how much anticipation we have for their season, but what were your thoughts on this win and just kind of like how dominant they were against the defending champs?
I mean, they're hungry. They're hungry. And before I even get into how good the Bills were, hats off to organizations and teams who can continue to be great year after year. We've seen a completely drop from the LA Rams. Defense still looked good.
Drastic difference, man. Just how much the season changes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Offense looked terrible. Matthew Stafford was off. I didn't know he threw that many interceptions last year, but he gave up 2 yesterday. Running game was non-existent. Cam Akers had 3 carries for 0 yards. Goose egg.
My goodness.
So Bills looked amazing, man. From top to bottom, they looked amazing. Allen has come to his own. Like NFL.
Man, how comfortable he looks. Yes. How comfortable and settled he looks.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Couple interceptions. One was his fault for sure, but another one came off the hands of one of the wide receivers. But he looked poised. He looked good. Other than that, I mean, running game was working. Diggs looked like top notch, like he's been, playing in the summer league or something with the USFL or the Canadian league. Like he's just still juiced up. But man, no, I love what I saw from the Bills. I love what I saw from Allen, man. He's a definitely leader, vocal guy. He had a chip on his shoulder. Jalen Ramsey said he didn't know why they drafted him back in 2018 and all this stuff, and Jalen Ramsey got toasted. Man. Toasted.
And I mean, when you look at Buffalo, there was that immediate, like, that sense of just how hungry they are. Like, early on, like in terms of just what they're coming back from, obviously the tough, extremely tough playoff loss against the Chiefs. Like, do you feel as though it's one of those years where they're just like, they can just sense like, hey, we were so close that we really want to go into this year guns a-blazing, just like taking back what we kind of thought was ours?
Yeah, I think they're at a stretch where they understand how good they are and what they can be, but it's always getting over that hump. And this game is the foot in the right direction. Mm-hmm. First game of the season, you want to set the tone for the whole NFL. You're the first game of the year.
Oh yeah.
You have to, and you're playing the Super Bowl champs.
Doesn't get bigger than that.
You have to make a statement. So hats off to these guys. This is the step into the right direction to get over that hump. I think they made great moves in the offseason, in the draft, signing new guys, bringing guys back. I think they're I won't say they're the Super Bowl champ or will win the Super Bowl, but I think they're in a step in the right direction. But they have to get over that hump. They have to. They have to pay the Chiefs yet, so we don't know if they got over.
Exactly, that's gonna be the test right there. Definitely. And now getting into Russell Wilson's 5-year, $245 million extension, and just expectations for the Broncos this year in a really tough AFC West. And this new deal, Wilson is also guaranteed $165 million, and it's one of the most just lucrative contracts in NFL history, and extends him as Denver's QB through the 2028 season. But what are your thoughts on this deal and just how there were just so much change for him this offseason going to a new team?
Man, you look at what the Broncos have been through the past 4 to 5 years. They came off having a franchise quarterback in Peyton Manning. They've been searching for a franchise quarterback for the past 4 to 5 years. So you look at a guy with Russell Wilson, and you have a chance to solidify and etch him in stone for the next 4 or 5 years. Yeah. You feel amazing. We know what Russell Wilson can do. We know what he can't do. But his upside is extremely tough to get over.
Yeah.
Looking at what he's accomplished, being a 5'10" quarterback, coming in and winning a Super Bowl, almost won two.
Almost won two.
Get into that.
Yeah.
But he's been a top 10 quarterback, top 7 quarterback for a while. So if you have been missing that, and you're used to being top dog, you're gonna find an opportunity to get back to that rim. And I think they have that on Russell Wilson. They got a couple. I think him and Jared Jeudy is going to be a good match.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm looking forward to it. Running game, is still have to come alive a little bit, but I think they got a great quarterback in Russell Wilson. They have a franchise quarterback now. So hats off to the Denver Broncos, but you're still not going to be that good. I'm just going to let you know that because your defense.
That's the thing I wanted to mention. In this division, you got the Chargers, you have the Chiefs, have the Raiders. Like, who do you see as the top team in this division looking forward? Because the Chargers, I think, can have an extremely good year. I think this is the year they're going to get to the playoffs. But what do you think about like who's going to be that top team in the AFC West?
That's tough. In the beginning of the season, I thought it was going to be the Las Vegas. I thought it was going to be those guys, and then you see them get rid of 4 or 5 players. And they acquired Devontae Adams.
Yeah,
they got the weapons.
Got to move out people.
Move people in, but they just got rid of Alex Leatherwood, who's a Pensacola native. I think it's Jonathan Abram, the safety. So it was like, I don't know. And I thought it was going to be the Kansas City Chiefs because it's the Kansas City Chiefs. But looking at preseason, they have not impressed me at all. The offense doesn't look as high when they had Tyreek Hill. Juju looks like he's just a Juju on a beat. Like right now, I think the Clippers. Oh my God.
We got it. But no, I'm putting that clip in. That clip is getting put in.
The Chargers. Juju on a beat. The Chargers, I think, is going to win the division. I like Justin Herbert. I've always been a fan of Allen, one underrated wide receiver. They have the weapons with Williams as well, a decent running game. Defense looks. You still got the Joey Bosa, and Melvin Ingram. So I think the Chargers is going to be the team to come out on the AFC West. And I think if Denver Broncos can get in there in the mix, I think they'll come out at 2 or 3. But right now, I have the Chargers. Yeah, Chargers look good.
Very good. And even looking at this first week, in terms of the upcoming games, obviously you've got Kansas City, Arizona, obviously Tampa Bay, Dallas, Niners, Chicago. Like, and to me, looking at a game like the 49ers in Chicago is interesting because you have 2-year quarterbacks. You want to see what Trey Lance is going to do. Also Justin Fields, and then I think that 49ers defense is going to have a phenomenal year. But what is kind of like the most intriguing game for you this upcoming weekend?
Man, the one we've already seen, obviously, with the Bills and the Rams. That was the one I was looking forward to the most. We got that at first. I do like the Bears and the 49ers because I'm so interested in what Trey Lance is going to do, man.
That's the missing piece because they got everything else. Everything
else. They have a contingency plan with Jimmy Garoppolo. I thought that was very interesting. Jimmy won in this situation because he has incentives in his deal, in his contract, that he can make up to $10 million being a backup quarterback. So not even 10 million, I think it was 16 million he can make in being a backup quarterback. But I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Trey Lance. Are they going to take that's the dryer. I'm in the living room. Are they going to take the training wheels off of Trey Lance and open up the playbook for him and not just be a RPO and stretch heavy offense? Right. Are they going to let him go deep down the field? And I'm looking at Justin Fields too. There's no excuses for this guy. They got out and got him some players. So I'm interested to see if just the offensive line has got better. The unit has kind of got some chemistry over in the offseason. And Justin Fields, he has to be the leader. They put a lot of money and a lot of resources in Justin Fields, so I'm interested to see what he does. So, but I'm more so interested in Trey Lance because this is your time to shine. You sat for a year, you played a couple games. This is it. This is what you've been dreaming of. Let's see what you got. Let's see what the kid got.
Yeah, definitely. And now transitioning to college football and just kind of, thoughts on Georgia's blowout win versus Oregon and just, the level of dominance displayed in their, 49-3 win for the season opener. Stetson Bennett threw for 368 yards, also accounted for 3 touchdowns. And the defense just also looked revamped and put on an absolute clinic. And this was a game that, even I mentioned I thought it was going to be one of the intriguing games. And I'm starting the trend, Savon, of saying it's going to be an intriguing game that ends up being a blowout like it happens every year. Literally every game I pick is a blowout. But what were your thoughts on this just dominant win for Georgia, them starting their title defense in just, a really just, assertive fashion?
We talked about it the days prior to them playing that Bo Nix is 0-3. Now he's 0-4 against Georgia. We talked about this new scenery. They hyped him up. He just got married in the offseason. He tore his ACL, transferred to Oregon, won the starting job out of the quarterbacks. For why?
Why?
2 interceptions in the first quarter. The offense did not get a groove. They didn't look good at all. Georgia, they had 15 players going to the draft. Everybody got drafted. They had 3 guys in the secondary came back from last year. Everybody else is new. They got a giant for a tight end, 6'7". Don't know where this guy came from. But they look like they're going to win it again.
It's kind of looking like that.
And I hate to say it, they look good. Bennett looked amazing.
Man.
That's the best quarterback I've seen Georgia have in the past 3 or 4 years. He was so poised. He was accurate. He had alert in his head when the pocket collapsed on him. He stood in, took some shots, was a leader. He was a field general. Georgia always had they always had the running game. They always had decent wide receivers in a great front seven, but they always sometimes missed the quarterback. I think Bennett, even last year, whatever, but Bennett this year, oh my gosh. For the first time, I'm like, I don't know if we can beat Georgia.
They look so formidable, man. Good, bro. They just from top down to bottom, like this team just really looks like complete. They really look like a complete team. And I mean, like, even looking at their prep, like when you go into a season as a defending champs, you lose a lot of players in the draft, and you're coming in like, obviously it's you still have the same quarterback, but it's just in the same coach, but it's a different type of like infrastructure in the team. Like, what do you think is the mentality that those players have to have in terms of just like, coming off a championship, but still knowing, hey, this is not the identical team that we had last year. It's a different type of formula. Same formula, but just different players.
That's it right there. Last year doesn't matter. It's 0-0. Everybody's on a clean slate. Everybody's on the same playing field. You have to go in there and it starts in recruiting, but it also starts in the off season, doing these camps, workouts, having that mentality. Georgia has always had that mentality to be a great football team. I've never seen a terrible Georgia team in my lifetime. Never seen a terrible Georgia team. So with that, you always come into the new season clean slate. I don't care. 15 guys. That was the headlines.
Yeah.
Is Georgia still Georgia after losing 15 of their star guys? And I'm here to tell you, everybody knows it. Georgia is still Georgia.
They're still Georgia.
And that's the beauty about rebuilding and implementing the same system that you've had for a couple years. And Kirby Smart, man, I mean, his time is now. They possibly could repeat.
Yeah.
They possibly could repeat. That's how good they were.
It's a high possibility. And now getting into Florida, so just impressive home win victory against Utah. In this 3-point win, Anthony Richardson's third TD. Savon's giving a stamp of approval. But his third TD gave Florida the lead with 1:25 left. Richardson ran 11 times for 106 yards and was never stopped for a loss. And on the other side, Tavion Thomas had 115 yards rushing in a score for Utah. But what are your thoughts on this statement home win against Utah? I mean, this was a 7th ranked team coming to Florida. Just like this was a great way to start the season against, a top 10 team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give them praise first, and then I'm going to dissect them and break them down like Coach Napier has already done. Offensive line looked amazing.
Yep.
Running game, passing game. Anthony Richardson was clean all game.
Yes.
Wide receivers looked pretty decent. The play calling was consistently decent. Defense stepped up in big times. But our front seven have to do better. Especially our defensive line, Brandon Cox, Javon Dexter, those guys, those are the leaders of our defensive line. I did not see a sack. We had a couple pressure, but he was clean the entire game outside of him running and doing RPOs. I think that's our weak spot right now. You can't run on us. So let me.
Oh yeah,
you're not gonna
you
be
gotta
able
set the
to
record
run.
straight. That's not gonna happen.
Then you're not gonna run. But I think once it comes to sacks and creating turnovers, I think we lack in that department. I mean, DBs decently look good. Linebackers stepped up, but we had a lot of penalties, a lot of play fumbles on the first drive. Fumble with Etienne, but he got it back. He looked pretty good. So that was a good statement game for our new head coach, the new players, the new era for the Gators. I thought it was amazing. But next game, we got Kentucky. We have to move on. We have to fix those mistakes. And I think we're pretty good. Anthony Richardson looked really, really good, really good. Well poised. Yeah. I'm still want him to take it off a little bit because he zips that ball in there like he's playing baseball. But you gotta, you can't throw it 100 miles per hour on a 5-yard dead. You can't do that, bro.
That's not gonna work.
All in all, I think we look good. All in all, I think we look really good.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and also looking at the upcoming opponent, with Kentucky, like what are kind of your thoughts on how that matchup could play out, because they're coming off of a great win, but just like you said, they got to bounce back really quick because in college football, it's just like any week can be a loss and a letdown after a big win. So like, what are your kind of early thoughts on that matchup?
We lost to Kentucky last year. So this is revenge. Sometimes Kentucky and Florida goes back and forth. Yeah. It's so easy to get lost. Excuse me. It's so easy to get lost, jumping from not ranked at all to number 12. Excuse me. And getting that mindset, okay, we're good enough. No, you have to come in like they can beat you every week. But what I love about Billy Napier is he's similar to Nick Saban. Nothing is ever good enough. Nothing is ever good enough. So I'm looking at this Kentucky defense doesn't scare me. It's their passing attack and their running game scares me. But their defense, the same guy who said Kyle Pitts wasn't going to do anything, Kyle Pitts with like 3 touchdowns that year. So I'm not worried about the defense. It's more so the offense. But I think our linebackers are getting into their own. And if we get pressure and we start creating sacks, because normally we have 2 dogs on the end. It's been a couple years where we didn't have, 2 dogs, the rushers who can get to the quarterback. Brent Cox has not stepped to that plate just yet. Hopefully this is his last season and he does that. But I'm looking for pressure. The front seven has to play perfect in my eyes. So we have to get pressure. We have to get off blocks. We have to plug holes. We got to end games. Ventrell Miller could have ended the game before they drove to the Wisconsin. He missed a pick. So no costly penalties.
Right.
And our front seven has to play lights out. If we don't, we're in trouble.
Absolutely. And now getting into kind of just thoughts on Ohio State's win versus Notre Dame. The Buckeyes were able to lean on their revamped defense in a top 5 opener. And CJ Stroud threw 2 touchdown passes in a 21-10 win this last Saturday night. But what were your thoughts on just Ohio State's win and just how their defense was able to really neutralize Tyler Buchner in the second half?
Man, I said it was going to be win in the trenches, and I think I was right. In my opinion,
you were definitely proven right.
What? That's how you break down an offensive line, man. Mm-hmm. And I forgot that he was number 5. I got the defensive lineman. He made 2 great sacks in the fourth quarter, and he was active the entire game. Like he was active. He was going after the quarterback. He was creating chaos, and other people was making a play. His play recognition is off the charts. But I knew that Ohio State would start slow, and Notre Dame would start slow because they're one track offense. Right. But man, what a game! What a game! It's not how you start; it's how you finish. That's how you come in the fourth quarter and top it off with a touchdown. Third quarter, top it off with a touchdown, and defense play lights out, which they did. They did not allow any points in the second half. That's why they say defense wins championships, Wellington. And that's what they do. Ohio State still, I think they have a lot of weak spots, but their defense, man, if their defense can hold off, that's how it was with Georgia last year. I thought Georgia's defense and special teams held them in positions where their offense did not.
Could not hold
now,
them.
It's both.
It's both. It's top.
So if Ohio State's defense can withstand and not give up points in the second half, they're going to be fine. But if they go against a squad who can bang with them, sheesh.
Man, it's going to be a long day.
It's going to be a long season for them.
Definitely. And get into literally the most dramatic game, the total in totality, in terms of just how it finished, Florida State LSU, and just kind of like, especially looking at special teams just having such a big impact in that matchup. Florida State was able to win 24-23 after Skyheim Brown's deflection of LSU's Damian Ramos extra point kick, and it just was a night of Jordan Travis having a highlight field performance, and then Brian Kelly's first game ended in a deflating loss. But what were your thoughts on this dramatic end and just the chaotic nature of it? Because for most of the game, it felt as though Florida State was in control. Then LSU kind of had a stronger second half, and then how that game ended was, I don't think, something anybody was expecting.
Me being a Florida fan, I have to say this. Florida State looked, for the most part, good.
Yeah.
They finally got a quarterback.
That's the big takeaway. That's what they got their guy. They got their guy.
they got their guy. He was so poised. He was running. He was throwing. He was accurate. I think that was the biggest thing I took from it. Accurate.
Never looked rattled. Never
looked rattled. But the one thing I say, they cannot finish a game. They can't finish
to save their life.
They should have put LSU out of the misery, because LSU couldn't move the ball.
Yeah,
LSU got two big wide receivers that didn't even was non-existent. Put them out, take them out, put them out their miseries, and it came down to a block kick. Kudos to the block kick, but if you run against another team, LSU, we knew LSU was going to be kind of shaky coming in the season, having a new head coach, Brian Kelly, who should have stayed at Notre Dame. That's just me.
Yeah.
But we knew that it's going to be difficult for him to transition to SEC. He made us look bad. Everybody won except them, and then let Florida State win. But the biggest takeaway, LSU needs a lot of work. They need a lot of work in the quarterback situation and play calling. And Florida State needs to know how to finish a game. Finish the game.
And that really is the thing, because like when you look at a team like Florida State, they got their quarterback now, a really just talented. I think this guy Jordan Travis can have a Heisman caliber type of season if he continues down the track that he's on. Like, but when you look at a team that has those pieces but can't finish a game strong, like, does that tell you more about like the discipline and mentality of the team, or is it one of those things where you're like, okay, there may be some gaps in the holes of maybe the coach not finishing games as strong in terms of the play calling?
I think it's a bit of both, because Travis played a near perfect game, 262 touchdowns.
Yeah.
What's the wide receiver's name? Wilson had 102, 2 touchdowns. Offense looked well. Defense gave up points, where it was the weirdest thing, especially in the fourth quarter. First half, you give up 3 points, and the third, 7, and obviously the fourth quarter, 13. But the second half is where you're supposed to put them out. It was 7-3 going into halftime. Florida State made great adjustments, scoring 10 points in the third quarter, but put them away. They let them linger on too much, and then eventually Daniels is going to find the way to freaking just score. And that last drive was one of the best drives I've seen that day. Well, not that day. Obviously, they were the only one playing on Sunday. But Saturday, that drive was like, where was that the entire game?
That's the question.
Yeah, what was that the entire game?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that team definitely has a shot to go far and have a really type of high caliber year. But if they can't close out games, because there's going to be teams better than LSU that they're gonna have to face, and it's not gonna be the type of ending that they want if they keep ending like that. But and now getting into kind of just thoughts on Serena Williams' last run at the U.S. Open, and just how she'll be remembered. This last Friday night, after what was likely just her final tennis match over a 7-5, 6-7, and 6-1 loss to IJ Tomljanovic in the third round of the U.S. Open, she said, "quote These are happy tears. I guess I don't know, and I wouldn't be Serena if there wasn't Venus." End quote. But what are your thoughts on the imprint she left on tennis and just sports in general? Because she is obviously one of the GOATs in any category, and just how the longevity of her career in multiple stages was something that we've really never seen.
Man, she is the GOAT. Yeah. She's just to see the adversity her and Venus had to go through at a young age, penetrating a predominantly white sport, to be able to say she's the absolute GOAT, not of tennis, but in sports in general.
Yeah.
She's there with Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Derek Jeter. It doesn't matter what sport she is. She's had to endure a lot from, racial slurs to being called a man and all this stuff. And to be able to be that great for so many years. Numbers don't lie. Championships don't lie. Whatever you want to call her, she's a GOAT.
Oh, yeah.
Don't call her a monkey. Call her a GOAT. She's a GOAT, cuz. Russia. That's why y'all losing now in the war.
Yeah.
Piss me off. Sorry, Wellington.
Nah, you got to be honest, because she has, went through statements that no woman should have to go through at all.
No.
Just very derogatory statements. In terms of just also the image of a female athlete in tennis, and the veracity she plays with, like in terms of that, because that's one of the most unfair things I hear about her is that she's too aggressive. She's quote unquote manly because of the way she plays the sport. Like, what are your thoughts on just those types of derogatory comments, and just even that type of adversity, not just like regular, hey, I'm going up against other great competitors, but I'm also going up against just critics out there and naysayers that aren't used to seeing me doing what I'm doing in this type of sport.
She stands out.
Yeah,
that's the beauty of it. Her game stands out. Her skin stands out. That's what it's supposed to do. And I don't think we would hear the racial slurs if she wasn't so great.
Right. Because
you always want to bring down greatness. You always want to, especially when you're so good, they can't say anything about your game. They say, then they want to attack you in other places because they can't say anything about your game. So with those comments, that's all you got? That's all you got. You
gotta scoop down to that level.
Right. You can't beat me. So you want to say something about my skin color or the way I look? Okay, cool. I'll dance up there like a monkey to get my trophy. So it's the weirdest thing when people do that. And it's across every sport, which, Black people are so great in so many areas in sports. That's the only thing they can say about us. But it's not derogative to us. It's derogative to you because you hating on us. But I wanted her to go out with a bang. Just another punch in the throat to all the naysayers, all the critics. You know what I mean? But that did not take away from her legacy
at all.
And I hope her daughter, more. Right. I hope her daughter grows up and she seems like she has an interest and be as great as her mom.
That would be amazing.
So it'd be another punch in the gonads to all of the naysayers.
To all.
But no, serious, man. What a career, bro. Even Venus, hats off to Venus too.
Venus as well. You can't leave her out as well.
Cannot
like
leave
Serena
Venus
said,
out.
It wouldn't be me. There wouldn't be a me without Venus. So, and you gotta give credit to her as well. Definitely. Well, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back. welcome back to the show. And now we're getting into our album reviews. And to start with the first one with Roc Marciano and the Alchemist Elephant Man Bones review. In this collaborative album, it's just a testament to really like, two hip hop long haulers who've never wavered from their creative ethics. And Marciano is just so lyrically sharp, and the production is expertly distilled, and no sound is really overused in this project. But what were some of your thoughts on some of your takeaways on this album, and just how it sounded overall?
Yup. Vibey. First of all, it's very lyrical. And I wouldn't say he's nonchalant, but it's just like how it's. And I would say this about all artists, but you got to check boxes as a rapper. First of all, the voice, his cadence was amazing. I thought the production was extremely crazy. Alchemist does not miss when it comes to like it is so different. It's different every time. It's nothing excuse me, the same. Like you know some producers have their niche and they stay in that pocket.
Yeah.
Alchemist doesn't have a pocket. He has just like the atmosphere, and he just takes from the atmosphere and he just creates.
Literally.
That's why he's the Alchemist. So
that's literally what it feels like. He's just taking from elements like, oh, take this one, take this one.
It's just like weird stuff that he puts in the background that you wouldn't, a normal producer wouldn't be like, I don't think I like that. But I don't think I want to like speculate, but I don't think he ever changes. Like if he makes a beat that day, I don't think he goes back and tries to tweak it. It's just that.
It doesn't seem like it at all.
But nah, this was dope. Yeah. Them being able to collab, like every Alchemist project that we've reviewed has really been dope, especially production wise.
Oh yeah.
And then
he has not missed on any project that we ever talked about.
And the production is always crazy. The lyrics and it's not like a crazy album that you can play on the radio, but it's just it's hip hop vibes. And
it's not for radio play. It's literally an album.
And I think we need to create a category called hip hop vibes, because Roc Marciano goes under here. Currency will go under there.
Black Dot.
Lupe Fiasco will go under there. Hip hop vibes, like those type of guys. They have their own category. They need even what the dude Igor, Tyler Creator.
Tyler Creator with his last album that he did with DJ Drama. That was a Gangsta Grillz album, not a mixtape.
Yes.
That's
he
phenomenal.
would go into hip hop vibe. So, but this was definitely dope. This was definitely dope. Production, lyrics, bars, cadence, voice, the intricate details of what goes into it. Yeah, this was really dope.
I mean, and speaking of DJ Drama, because it was interesting, because he did talk about like he was on a he had an interview recently with Rory and Mal, and he was talking about just like how, hey, like there have been artists that have wanted to do a Gangsta Grillz mixtape with me, but something changed. And he said, if you're reading this, it's too late. Was originally supposed to be a Gangsta Grillz mixtape, which is very interesting to me.
Very interesting.
Which I mean, I don't think it really needed to, because it's one of his best ever. But about that though, I think sometimes there are mixtapes that need possibly that type of production, and then other ones it doesn't. It's already perfect the way it is.
Yeah, I don't think it would have resonated as it did if it was a DJ Drama tape. If you're reading this, it's too late. So I'm glad whatever happened, catastrophe that happened,
the business,
it did not happen, because we didn't need a DJ Drama tape thing. We didn't need that. But, no, I get that though. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and then you just realize like you don't need that extraness for this mixtape,
right?
Well, you don't need, because I do understand sometimes you feel like as an artist you're missing something, and maybe it is a DJ's connection or DJ's drop or whatever that they bring it out or bring more attention to it. But that's very interesting. Yeah, I thought he was more selecting who he chooses to do a mixtape.
Exactly.
So
yeah. And now getting into a Kenny Beats Louie review, and in his debut solo album, as he's known as just one of the best producers working in hip hop today, he shows he can just converge seemingly conflicting sounds and confidently use authentic instrumentation. And this is the type of album that, I mean, I do appreciate the instrumentals, where literally when I don't want to like hear any lyrics, I can just run this through, and it's really an effective type of instrumental project. But what were some of your thoughts on this and the takeaways of the type of easygoing instrumentals that he interlaced with brief vocal
Hey,
harmonies?
yo, amazing, amazing
Yeah,
guy, amazing guy, amazing beats.
he's
He's
amazing.
amazing. He's amazing. Yo, yeah. I love the little intro because I don't know too much about the Kenny Beats, and just giving that background of how he was called Louis and just his dad. They're doing the fake radio show or whatever, and just implement. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That was really dope. But as soon as you turn it parentheses, man, that beat is so amazing. I literally just started freestyling.
Some of these beats, I was like, I mean, I want to freestyle over some of these beats. I was just looking
yes,
like,
bro, yes, yo, yeah.
I was like, it's just right there.
Yeah. Like if I ever got the chance to get a beat from Kenny Beats, bro, I would.
Oh
Listen,
my goodness,
brother,
man!
I'll be jumping up for joy. But nah,
Right after the podcast, we'd be like, "Hey, Kenny, so we used to like rap seriously."
right, like, you know what I'm saying? You got just throwaway beats you just want to give to me, but yo, this I know for certain. He got like 50 phone call, 50 gazillion texts.
Oh
like, hey,
man,
bro,
his phone was
that.
ringing.
Yes,
His phone was
bro.
ringing. He had to put it on Do Not Disturb at one point in the
Had
day.
to, bro. Because if you put out these tracks and you didn't give them to nobody, you just kept these. Yo, that's crazy. But he did have
That's what I'm saying. Like, think the tracks that he was keeping to like actually keeping for himself. Like what are your thoughts on just like the amazing selection that he had, and also just the fact that artists can probably were listening to this and can instantly tell, hey man, like this is something that these are jewels, like these are treasures that he just has in store.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's just to think about that.
It's wild.
As a producer, I know you you have that like arsenal of music or beats that you've been working on just for yourself. And then you probably take from that if somebody be like, you know what, I'll give this to you. But you have like 4 or 5 that you really don't want to give to, and they try to pander you like, bro, let me have that. He's like, nah, I got it for my album. An album for beats? Like, what are you doing, bro? That's a beat. So that was that brief pause, just trying to think of that moment before I said something. So like, I understand because I know dope producers, and I'll be like, bro, like, what you been working on? Like, you been working on anything? And it was like, yeah, I've been working on a couple things and I've seen you a link. And I'll be like, yo, this is fine. Like, can I get these? Like, nah, bro, I gotta keep that. Nah, what are you talking about? So
what are you
exactly. You gotta put out a beat album, brother.
A beat album.
But nah, yo, I just think about that whole process, and you gotta keep some for yourself because you give off this heat. But then you be like, man, I really didn't want any voices on this. I just want people to just listen to it. So, beat just like having like albums just fully beat. Well, this is not a fully beat because he had a couple guys rapping and stuff on this one.
Yeah, he had a couple in there
and stuff. But to have
that's his guy. That's his guy. Him and Vince Staples do some amazing work, man.
Funny, man. But it's funny. But it's more popular now to drop just like beat albums and not that many people on them. It's getting more popular. So yeah, I mean, you got to keep that fire for yourself. But I'm pretty sure he's like throw out so much beats to artists until you be like, you know what, it's time for me to do my own thing and see if people to vibe with that. Like, you can get on it if I can use it for my album. You can't use it. So I've been there before. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you can hop on it, but you can't have it.
You can't have that.
All right, that's cool. As long as I'm on the album, brother. So I've collabed with a bunch of producers like that, like the guy from France, Yugs or whatever. Butter. That's his top streaming song, and that was early.
Oh, wow.
I think it's on. What is it? Spotify. It's like 60,000 streams, almost 100,000 streams on Butter, and it's my vocals and stuff on it. And that was like early during the pandemic when I was still trash, and that got a lot of streams. So I was like, wow. But I couldn't have the song. I couldn't have it. Couldn't have it. I just had to do it for him.
I'm doing you a favor.
Exactly. But now he gave me a few beats or whatever. Man. But that's how it goes in the music thing. You know what I mean? That's how it goes.
Definitely. And now getting into Dixon's one of his latest singles, barely. And in addition to the other two, he dropped this one and links back up with producers Anacon and Vader, where it has a DMV based production outfit and laces him with a groove that just glides over the entirety of the song. And he's about to drop a 10 song project 4 days on September 16th. And now looking at this single, and I mean, I believe we reviewed an EP of his earlier in the year, but he's really an R&B singer that I think he's got next. He's one that I really like throw back. I really throw on that EP a lot, and just like in terms of the vibes and the moods that he's in, I feel like it always fits perfectly with the production. But what were some of your thoughts on this single and just like the overall feel of it?
First of all, this is a single song.
It's a single, yes.
Good job,
Bravo.
Dixon, for dropping a perfect single song. And it wasn't an album song; it was a single song. So I gotta put that out. No, but yeah, I'm always with the funky vibes, bro. With the his voice, he's an R&B because he got I looked at his track list or whatever. He has Tanashi.
Tanashi too, yeah. On Heat.
I didn't know she was still doing music. I thought she took a break.
That's crazy.
I thought she took a break. But I don't know. Anywho, but nah, this was that single was dope. It was wavy. It was vibey. It was a nice little tune, nice melody. It wasn't like
it has me anticipating what the rest of the project's gonna sound like.
It wasn't honestly. Like I think this could be a radio song, but it's not like a crazy like, yo, that's the one. But I thought it was real dope, but I thought it definitely is a single song, vibey, catchy, The lyrics is not gonna blow you away, but I thought it was
it was good. It really fit what he's trying to do. And I mean, also like him dropping 3 singles before, because he dropped 2 other ones, obviously the one on Heat with Tanashi, like that's interesting because he's trying to, it almost feels as though like he's trying to like put out 3 different types of song choices that people can see, like, hey, like maybe I like this one more or that one more. Like when an artist, like an upcoming artist like him, is about to drop a project but still is putting out a few songs, like do you think it's one of those things where they're trying to like set the tempo or set or maybe like just put it out there as a filler in terms of, hey, like what do people are actually into, what are they responding to before they actually get the full project?
It could be that, or it could be just an anxiousness, just wanting to get your music out, and or a couple songs that you've already previously dropped didn't do as well, or because he's signed, so most of the time artists don't have a say of what they want to drop or what they should drop. The label sometimes like, okay, we should drop this one and do that or whatever. But I don't know if this is a situation, but it does happen because T-Pain and other artists say that all the time. He's like, once they started picking my singles, that's when my career went down. T-Pain's funny, such a spirit. But it could be anxiousness or trying to set the tone and figure out if people are really gonna vibe with it, because he's already released 4 songs on this 4 songs on this Day Off, Heat, Barely, and Cherry Sorbet. I have it with 7th Streeter.
Cherry Sorbet with 7th Streeter.
I haven't listened to that one just yet. But when you drop 4 songs off your project, you might have just didn't drop a single, just drop the whole project. You drop 4 songs, like we already know he dropped 1, 2, 3, then a big gap, then 9. Like like you should have just.
That's interesting. That's interesting because and that's the thing, because when I saw he was doing that, I was like,
I've never.
It seems like a little too much. It seems like a little too much to drop a project, and you only got 10 songs, and you gave us 4 pretty much. And I mean, hopefully the next 6 blow us away, but you gave us a lot. You gave us a lot, man. That man gave us a lot. I've never seen it done
like that. Like maybe 2.
Me
maybe
either.
2 tracks.
2 I get.
And
yeah.
You dropped 4 off a 10-song album. Maybe the numbers are not rocking the way they thought it was gonna rock. Maybe
I think that's what it might be.
I ain't dropping no 4.
That's interesting. Dropping 4 singles.
You're not doing that.
I mean, because you see artists do like the thing where after the album drops, hey, they'll drop like 2 or 3 music videos for a project.
Yes.
To keep the but not like before. It's usually always after to keep the momentum of the project going.
Not drop 4 tracks, be like, oh, they still go vibe with the whole thing. Like, if we haven't liked the first 4 songs, what makes you think people are gonna like the rest of the 6 of them?
Man, it just has me thinking, man. It just has me thinking because I was just like, that's really interesting. He
I
dropped that
don't
many.
know. Let's see how it play out.
Yeah, definitely. And now getting into Bryson Tiller's latest track, Outside, and in this new single that was kind of like more of a vibey track, and it's the type of song that Tiller said he wants to include in his next project, and said, quote, Outside is the polar opposite of what everyone is used to hearing from me. Normally we would release a song intended to put people deep in their feelings, but this song is anti-feels, end quote. But what do you think about the current sound of Tiller and just, what his next album could sound like? Because we've talked about him a lot in terms of he had the sophomore slump after his first album, and it's one of those things where we're kind of like thinking back, hey, when are we going to hear the vintage Bryson Tiller? So what did you kind of think about this
That's
new
not
track?
him. That's not him. That's not your vibe. It's not your vibe. Your voice and how they mix your vocals don't match that. You were authentic not because you put people in their feels, it's because the production and your mixing matched.
Yes.
Perfectly. Now
Yeah.
you doing something we don't want. I will say his last project was
Anniversary?
It was better in a step in the right direction.
Oh, much better. It aged a lot better than I think we originally gave credit for.
Because I go back and especially Sorrows. I'm a big fan of Sorrows.
Oh man, Sorrows that
is dope.
song.
That's the type of vibes your mixing goes into, because how they mix his vocals are extremely weird. They put a lot on his vocals. So when you mix it like that and you put it on like that's what Blacks was supposed to be on, or Ty Dolla Sign or something.
Yeah, Blacks and Ty Dolla Sign would have killed that.
That's not yours.
Yeah. It was. It wasn't the type of track. It wasn't the type. It was an empty. It's one of those like tracks you hear and you're just like, where is this artist trying to go? Because we know what he can do really well. Even in his last project, as we're talking about the Anniversary, he had really good songs on it. It's a project I go back and revisit a lot because I think he did a really good job of putting those tracks together. But this one, there are parts when you can see an artist getting almost too experimental, and I feel as though this was the type of song where you kind of saw him just get too experimental out of his kind of like normal range.
First, let's just give it. The song itself was boo boo in my eyes. Yeah, don't. Oh wow, I didn't even try to do that, brother. Don't. I didn't even try to do that, bro. But yeah, this is not your lane, bro. Get back in your lane. Get back in your lane, because your mixing doesn't match that. It doesn't match it. And that vibe, you're not that type of artist.
Man, why'd you have to bring up though? I'm gonna listen to trap. I'm gonna listen to trap.
Right, bro.
I'm gonna go back listen to trap.
It wasn't because you put people in their feelings. It's because everything matched. Your vocals were good. Your mixing was good. Your production was good. The lyrics were good. Everything matched. That's why it's a golden. That's what they say. Negro golden spiritual. Project. That's a Negro spiritual project. Literally. Like,
that is solidified. That is, man.
It should be
phenomenal.
What it is, diamond, whatever the crap is. It should be diamond by now. So, yeah, man.
Yeah. Definitely. And now getting into our last review with Taelor Gray's "Find a Way to Smile Again." In his new album, he kind of covers resilience and joy despite lament, and really desires to present this as a type of music that can address real surrounding circumstances and enhance the experience of the overall journey. But what did you think about the message he tried to convey and the overall sonic output? Because Taelor Gray is an artist I've listened to many years. Following a lot of his previous albums, and I think this was one of his kind of like most transparent ones. And obviously, he's on the uptick of a journey. Like he's addressed many things he's gone through in the past, and this one it felt as though like, hey, I'm getting out of something that I was previously in, and now I'm kind of trying to find the good and the high points of what I went through.
I thought that was dope, man. Did he drop this month?
Yeah.
Perfect.
It was last Friday.
Perfect, because this is Suicide Awareness Month, right? And
he dropped at a very strategic point.
Yes. That's why I was like, make sure that he did drop it this month. Yeah, this was really dope. And to be able to put it into a hip hop form, and it could be like not a nagging at the ear type, because it's rare for, not even rare, it's difficult for rappers to try to implement like well-being into the raps. Kendrick Lamar does it extremely well.
And his last album, that was a therapy album.
It was definitely a therapy album, and to still make it enticing is hard. And I think this was it didn't do the Kendrick Lamar vibe,
the Kendrick thing,
but it did get the point across. And I think it was enticing enough for you to listen all the way through. And I thought it was really dope. I thought it was transparent. I love the cover art that he had for it. It's always dope to to look at the pictures and stuff like yeah, man. But I never heard of him.
I love when artists do that. Yeah. I love when artists do that. Yeah. I mean, he's obviously like a really popular Christian rapper. Christian, his brother is Christian Gray. He's also a pastor. Yeah.
Bro, I knew his voice sounded familiar, bro. Christian Gray used to be my top 5.
Bro, man. You know, it's crazy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. My brother is friends with a lot of these people. A lot of these people. Taelor Gray and him are really good friends. He's really good friends with Christian Gray, man. One of these people I gotta talk to soon. One of these people we gotta talk to soon, because Christian Gray was up there.
Yo, yes. And what's funny? Tyler used to say I rapped like Christian Gray. That he reminded me.
Yes, he said that a lot. He said that a lot.
And that's why I was like, who's Christian Gray? Like, I'm, Show Baraka, all these guys, but I listen to Christian Gray used to. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yo, hey, Reese, hand a clap for Christian Gray. Hand clap for Taelor Gray, man. That's dope, man. I knew his voice sounded familiar. I just couldn't put my finger on it because they have a distinguished voice.
You gave the reaction of the year.
Bro, like, it was like, wait, what? That's Christian Gray's brother. Bro, Christian Gray is a Christian rap legend, man.
Yes, bro. His projects were ones I would just replay and replay, man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, some phenomenal albums, man.
Tyler knows everybody. Tyler knows the president.
He know. Oh, yes, dude. This man has connections. This man has so many connections, man. This man has, oh my goodness.
Yeah, man.
But this album, man, this was doing it in September, obviously, and just the themes of it, I feel as though we're really solid. Were there any particular tracks? Was it one of those things where this was just a straight run through for you, or were there any particular tracks that you felt as though may have been the best ones on this that you can remember?
It was definitely a track. I mean, track album you can listen straight through.
Run, because it's only 8 songs.
Put Me Back Together. I've Been Around. I love the beat. Oh, and his voice went well with it. I just realized who this was. Hold on, let me. That's Armand. No.
Yes, Armand. I understand the reason.
I knew it.
Yeah,
bro. Armand is what. Armand, wake up,
bro. And that's another one. Tyler knows.
We did the interview with when Tyler was doing the show. Yo, I still listen to it. I don't love to do you. Oh, now I gotta go listen to it.
Man, I kind of want to like. I kind of want to listen. I got to go back and listen to these guys, man. I got to go back and listen to them, man. I got to go back and listen to these guys.
Bro, that brings back so many memories, bro. I remember when we first listened to Armand Wake Up. He changed his name. It was just Armand. Now it's Armand Wake Up. But yeah, he be flowing. He's funny too, though. But he be flowing.
Oh, he's super funny. Yeah,
he flow. Yeah, yo, this just went up because I just press play and just do other stuff, and I'm listening. I'm like, oh, his voice sounds familiar. But then I'm just like doing other stuff, so I'm not checking the phone. But now I gotta go back and listen to it with some grit, cause Yo, this is crazy, man. Armand, man. Yeah,
Man,
nah, good.
takes
Well,
me
it's a
back.
good job, brother. Give me your flowers every time we do this stuff. You be finding people, man.
This I have given like Savon like 2 people to re-listen to tonight
Yes.
automatically because man,
Yes.
it takes you back. It really takes you back.
For sure.
Definitely. Well, that wraps it up for tonight. I'm host Winter Burn from my counterpart Savon Morris. This has been Full Scope.